In 2014, Ukraine embarked on a complex and comprehensive local self-governance, administrative and territorial reform process based on the principle of decentralization.
The reform that was launched in Ukraine in 2014 is extremely important and large-scale. It takes huge human and other resources and a lot of effort from experts, both Ukrainian and international.
It's very important that donors come together and support this complex, difficult reform in a coherent way, because it is one probably of the most directly related to common citizens in the country.
When the decentralization reform in Ukraine was launched in the spring of 2014, Switzerland had already been running different projects to support local authorities in different regions of Ukraine to provide municipal services in a more effective and transparent manner.
In this case, it went far beyond just an exchange of information. We started with the establishment of a results framework that was actually common to the government of Ukraine, its priorities, and the priorities of the donors. We put this together and made something that is common.
The results framework document reflects all the national strategies, governmental action plans, sectoral policies related to decentralization, but also covers all the inputs from the donor-supported projects. So that is why this complexity prompted us to establish coordination not only at the level of donors, but also at the level of projects.
Every donor comes with their own vision of reform and the assistance that Ukraine needs. They come to exchange experience and knowledge, and all of this is accumulated in one territory, the territory of our state. We speak the same language and use the same instruments and capacities. It's great. Any donor that may come to Ukraine can see what is happening, where we are going, and where we have shortcomings. I think it's a great advantage for new donors. Donor-government coordination is established both at the level of donors and at the level of projects. Enhanced monitoring and coordination capacity of the ministry. Improved coordination among different line ministries involved in the decentralization reform. Clear alignment of donor assistance with governmental strategies and plans. Jointly organized national-level public events and joint advocacy activities.
Probably the biggest advantage of this is that it brings everybody together. It is led and steered by the government, but it is also very structured and organized in different working groups, in different structural focus areas, with each donor taking a lead according to their specialization.
So the architecture of our coordination mechanism is as follows. We have the donor board, which is chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister responsible for the regional development, and one representative of the donor community, which is rotated more or less on the annual basis. Based on the structure of the Common Results Framework, we have more than 10 working groups covering different thematic areas, and we have a calendar of meetings of all working groups reflected on our platform.
It's on the platform of these work groups where programs and projects are adjusted and coordinated. I would say it's a kind of platform for discussion where communities address their issues and get the best product. How to ensure that results of working groups at the operational level form the strategies and decisions made by the government and the donors. How to maintain a good level of involvement and regular exchanges in the working groups. How to ensure progress on sectoral topics where there is no common vision among different ministries on the reform implementation process and little experience in interministerial cooperation.
This potential has grown, and we have accumulated more resources to implement this reform. The experience that we gain from these projects and these programs is extremely important. Now this potential is substantially higher, and there are more possibilities for the government and our ministry to implement reform.
Donor coordination mechanism assists the donor projects or donor organizations to be more specific and more coordinated with the key national stakeholders. And on the other hand, it is developing the capacity of the ministry to work with donors, to understand how they work, what they need to be effective.
The Common Results Framework combining governmental and donor priorities is the basis for constructive and transparent coordination. The Ministry's commitment and internal capacity is key to leading the coordination and involving other line ministries. In some cases of competition between different line ministries, the donor board can serve as a neutral platform for stronger interministerial cooperation. It is important to select the right people as working group coordinators. Their expertise and leadership strongly influence the work group dynamics. The ability and willingness of donors to respond to emerging needs and decentralization priorities is crucial for smooth and speedy reform implementation. Organizational and technical support provided by the Secretariat is key to the donor board's functioning and the working group's development.
Of course, here in Ukraine, it is a bit of a challenge to bring such type of relationships into the general culture that has existed in the public administration. This is because the coordination of the priorities and then finding out where, for instance, expertise of Sweden may be better suitable and expertise of, say, Poland or Germany or Canada may be better suitable, or Switzerland, that's it's natural that, yes, you put together the strength and that way you build the best support framework that can be helpful for the country.
And I think that's also very true when we look at the government and the language the government uses, perhaps with regard to the donor community, which it's not a big experience that there has been. And now I think we have something quite solid where, this exchange happens and, we understand each other better.